Good morning, everybody. Welcome to that market report. My name is Christian Charlo. Today we're Monday, July 22nd. Today, folks, I want to make a follow-up on a market report we made on July 11 when we told you there was a go on gold stocks. Well, today I'm going to show you a follow-up on those stocks where on a lot of them it's a moment to take some profits, because what we're trying to favor were some stocks that, yes, were in a breakout but had some potential until they reach their downward trend. So what is the situation right now in the sector? Well, first of all, what we talked about on the market report on July 11 was that, look, in the gold sector, the position where we are right now is that with the cycle, that's here, that technically speaking, we had a rebound. But this rebound didn't last. And now we went even lower, and we thought on July 11 that this was the bottom and this was the moment to get in, because we're making a higher bottom on the stochastic, so which means that there were more buyers who were getting in. So right now, yes, we have reversed that slight downward trend, and we have slightly some room to go before we reach that downward trend around here, around 70 on the mining sector, on the gold mining sector. So this is actually an opportunity to those of you actually opened some positions on July 11 to take some profits. And there are a couple of stocks that, okay, you could get in on them, but they're taking more than 5%, which means that the risk potential, the loss potential is really great. So it's important to put a trailing stop on those stocks. So let's take a look at them together. On the stocks we talked about on July 11 that were good opportunities to get in because they had some potential until they reach their downward trend, you had some stocks like Tech Resources, like Eldorado Gold, I mean. And now that stock has reached its downward trend since July 11. So we actually recommended on marketgurus.tv that you can have access for free for 10 days just by clicking at the link below to take some profit on Eldorado Gold. You see here, that stock performed pretty nicely. Another one, Semaphore. Since July 11, that stock took more than 5%, so we actually recommended today to take some profit on that stock because right now it is reaching its downward trend. So it's not a moment to get in today on Semaphore at all. It's a moment to take some profit. There were also other stocks that I told you, look, those stocks, you should not favor them to actually acquire some positions because they don't have much room to go before they reach their downward trend, even if they were in a breakout. A stock like that was, for instance, Agnico-Eagle. On July 11 here, it was clearly breaking that resistance, but you see, there was a downward trend there, so we told you, don't invest into a stock like that. We're going to have a correction, and we did. And right now, we stabilized, but today, we're actually going back up on Agnico-Eagle. So those of you who would like to acquire Agnico-Eagle, I would say that right now today, it's a better entry point as compared to the one that we had on July 11 because the stock is clearly reversing its important downward trend. And if you're getting in today, you have to put your stop loss at 2804 on Agnico-Eagle. Another one is Kinross Gold. On July 11, we're around this area. So we told you, I'm not really sure though, because it's actually, you might stay there for a while with your money. The stock might not really move that much because there's that important old support there. That might be the new resistance in Kinross Gold. And that's what happened. You had to be really, really patient though for those of you actually acquired that stock around July 11. And those of you actually would like to acquire Kinross Gold, I would say it's okay if you acquire it today. Your target is at 709 until that important downward trend. But the thing is, Kinross Gold is already taking 8.35%. So usually when you buy a stock, you get out of it when it breaks that support. And from that price to that support, it's more than 10%, right? So the risk is really, really high on Kinross Gold. So yes, there's some potential, but there's a higher risk also on Kinross Gold. So you have to take that into account if you're actually acquiring some positions. I would say open half of a position on that stock, put a trailing stop, let's say, of 7%. So at least when the stock loses 7%, you will at least reduce your exposure to Kinross Gold. Rubicon Minerals, same scenario, clearly breaking its side reformation, and that stock, just like Eldorado Gold and Semaphore in July 11, has some potential until it reaches this downward trend. It's 6.77%. It's slightly more than 5%. So there's still a big risk also of losing more than 6% until we reach the support here on Rubicon Minerals. So just like Kinross Gold, you have to put a trailing stock on Rubicon Minerals, let's say of 7% or more. Primero Mining, actually that's a stock that is clearly reversing its downward trend, clearly breaking that side formation, so that stock will also fit that criteria. We could expect the first pause at 551 on Primero Mining, but as I said, more than 8%, so I would say that you should also put a trailing stop. But a stock you should not favor are some stocks like Fortuna Silver Mines. So yes, we can consider this as a breakout because it's breaking a resistance, but if you take a look at the longer term trend here, it does not reverse that downward trend, and from that breakout to here, there's not much potential. So the entry point, the ideal entry point, was around here on July 16 on Fortuna Silver, when we actually recommended that stock as a buying opportunity on marketgurus.tv. From here to there, then there's some potential on the upside to take some profit. So those of you who got in July 16, hold on to it. Your target is at $4 to take some profits, but today it's too late to get in Fortuna Silver because there's still that downward trend that is there, and from that point to that downward trend, it's not even 5%, so it's not worth it for Fortuna Silver. I would rather favor some stocks like Primero Mining, Rubicon Minerals, or Kinross Gold, where I put my stop, my trailing stop of 7% or more to minimize my loss potential, and where I would open half of a position instead of a full positions, because in most of the stocks I lighted with an S, like Kinross, Rubicon, Primero Mining, and Agnico-Eagle, most of them are taking more than 5%. So today you should take some profits on Eldorado Gold and Semafo, and on stocks like highlighted in S, you should, yes, you could open some positions, but you have to put your trailing stop because they're taking more than 5%. So that said, this is Christian Charlot for your market report. See you next week, and you can always get access to all the breakouts and many more on marketgurus.tv. See you next week.